All right, welcome everyone to our weekly Team Passion Zoom call. It is November 30th, last day of the month. Make sure you, yes, everyone is hitting Success Club. Make sure after this call you are pushing, no sleeping till you hit Success Club tonight. Those are the rules. Even if you're at 0, you can help 3 people. You can do it. All right, there's a couple things I just wanted to go over first before we dive into this call. One of the things is I just want to remind you of our Team Passion training website, teampassiontraining.com. This website has an event calendar on it. So anytime you say, hey, Nicole, when's the next sneak peek? Hey, Nicole, when's the next 7-day quick start guide group? Hey, Nicole, when's the next Sprint to Diamond? Stop asking. It's in the event calendar. Okay. So that's where it all is. The only ones we don't have up are the Sprint to Diamond ones because I'm kind of like, I don't know. I'm not consistent with those because I like to just surprise you and say, hey, next week we're going to do Sprint to Diamond. Who's in? Okay. So that's kind of how I roll with those because they're very intense. It takes a lot out of me, actually, and I love them so much, and everybody gets so much out of them, but those are the ones that we don't have consistently. But we do have a 7-day quick start group, and we do have a sneak peek group happening consistently. The Team Passion monthly meetings are in there. The Zoom calls are in there. If something happens and I can't do a Zoom call because I'm traveling or something, we take it out of the calendar. So we're pretty on top of that calendar now. So just really make sure that that's where you look first. And then the other thing is I just wanted to remind you of our Team Passion system for success. So I've reported that a bunch of times. I've said it on the Zoom call a bunch of times, so I'm not going to go over it, but basically, there is a file section in teampassiontraining.com, and there's a file that's called Team Passion System for Success. And that is where you will find exactly what you need to do to take a customer to a coach and then help support your coach in becoming a successful coach, and then what the next step is, which is a Sprint to Diamond group and getting yourself to Diamond and getting your coaches to Diamond. So we have a really good system in place so that I want you guys to feel super comfortable having, a lot of people say, I don't know what to do with a coach when they start. We have this system for you, okay? So it's there for you, how to run a challenge group. I mean, we go over everything. So have no fear. We help you with that system. One of the things I wanted to just bring up before we get started with this call is regards to the Sprint to Diamond. So right now we are running a quick accelerated Sprint to Diamond group. And this time I opened it up, just whoever wants to come in, come in. And it's kind of like, just let's go for it. And there's close to 200 coaches in there. And we just started today, and day 1 is always video day. So I just throw you right on the fire. I don't mess around. And, there's lots of fear. People panic video day. But honestly, I ask you to do a video for us in the Sprint to Diamond group, which means we are your biggest cheerleaders. We are rooting you on. Like, we don't care what you sound like. We don't care how many ums you say. We don't care. We are there rooting you on. And it's so great. And today, the stories that came out of that group, like, I just sit there going, like, the whole time. I don't get to watch all of them. There's literally 100 in there right now, and I wish I could watch them all and comment them all, but I just can't. But a couple that I've seen, I mean, the courageous women and men that we have on this team, what they have been through, loss after loss or health scares, the desire to be home with their kids and have complete freedom just tears me up inside because I know what that feels like. I just want to applaud everyone for being in that group. I want you all to take the time at least once in your Beachbody career to get in one of those groups with me, because it will change things for you. Not everybody gets to diamond in that time frame, but a lot of people change in that time frame. I push you right out of that comfort zone, like right out. And I think it just, I know a lot of people fear it, but that's good, because that's where change comes outside of that comfort zone that you're so comfy in, that I make sure you're not comfy anymore. And it's just, it's, I don't know. It's like tears, so many emotions today. And this is why I don't run them as often, because my energy, like I'm just like, oh, like I was just sitting there today going, oh my God, how can, and you just think how lucky you are and how lucky we are and how people don't make excuses. Like there are people on the team that make excuses like, I'm just so busy. And then you sit and you watch someone share their story about losing their son at 5 weeks old, or having a brain tumor and being legally blind in one eye. I'm like, oh my God. And I think I have problems. Like really, you've got to put it in perspective. The bravery and the courage on this team is just, it's amazing. And I'm so honored to be surrounded by all of you on a daily basis. So without further ado, we have one of my personally sponsored coaches, Aimee Yawnick, who is a life coach. And she has taken us through a few of these types of exercises where she guides us through just this visualization and really having you realize the potential that you have in your life. And every time I do one of these exercises with her, I'm totally freaked out, but in such a good way. Like it's one of those, I tell you guys, journal about your lifer, and they're just going to appear. And then it's like totally freaky when they just appear. This takes it to a whole new level. So you're going to need to have an open mind. Please shut off your TV. I know Aimee will give you all these instructions too, but I'm going to give them to you too. Shut off your TV, shut your door, lock your door, get all the animals out, including the kids. Make sure Charlie Brown's Christmas is on. Plop them in front of that. It's on Channel 5. And make sure that you can fully concentrate. I'm even going to mute myself so that you can't hear anything happening here. But Aimee, if you can unmute yourself, we are honored and excited to have you here. So thank you for always sharing this great gift with us and being willing to do that. So thank you.
My pleasure. It's a lot of fun. I remember being on the other side the first time doing some of these things, and it is mind-blowing. So to be able to share it with this amazing team is my pleasure. So yeah, like Nicole said, you really want to be uninterrupted for, say, the next 10 or 15 minutes. If you have any doubt that you can be uninterrupted, I would highly recommend that you leave and listen to the recording when you can be completely uninterrupted. Because hearing half of this and then not being able to complete it will kind of mess it up for you. So you want to be present for the entire thing and then be able to complete the journaling exercise at the end. So you will need paper and pencil right near you so that when we complete this, you can write down any notes that you want to remember from it. So what I'd like for you to do to get started is to start to think about something that you'd like to release, something you'd like to let go of. Something you may be holding on to really tight, or something that you know isn't serving you that you just need to release. And it's a pattern of a holdback that you've seen often in your life, quite often. So it's something dynamic. It's unique to you and your circumstances. And this holdback is not just on the surface. It's had its time in your life over and over again. And we're going to go through this ritual today, and we're going to release it. So most of us have maybe 2 or 3 patterns or beliefs that hold us back and keep us small. They are foundations of a belief system that at one time served us, but now it's only holding us back from discovering and living our purpose. So these thoughts and beliefs tend to be themes. So if you think about it, look at what the thread might be tying it all together for you. So think about some of these things in your past. Maybe you've had issues with your confidence or your self-worth or not enoughness. Just kind of think about what that pattern or that thread has been for you, and just take a moment and bring that to the surface. Don't judge it. Just listen and allow whatever wants to come forward to come forward. I'll give you just a moment to do that. And this doesn't have to be perfect. Whatever comes up for you, go with it. It wants to be heard right now. And sometimes just by calling the patterns out, it gives them an opportunity to dissipate. So this is the pattern in your life that you've seen a lot, which holds you back from really truly living your potential. So I'm going to imagine that you all have something, some idea in your mind. And what we're going to do with this powerful ritual is we're going to clear that. We're going to liberate ourselves of the weight of this unserving energy, how it holds us down and keeps us from moving forward. So now I'm going to ask you to be open, close your eyes, and take a few deep breaths. And I can see y'all, so close those eyes. All right, take a big inhale through your nose and release through your mouth. And another big inhale, full big belly breath. Pause for a moment and release it. And then again, as you inhale, I'd like you to set the intention that you're open and receptive to this process. You're just willing to receive whatever's coming your way. And as you exhale, let go of any resistance that you might have. Just let it go with your breath. And then continue breathing normally. So in your mind, see yourself walking on a lovely white sand beach. It's nighttime, and the sand is cool under your feet. The sound of the gentle waves of the ocean are off in the distance. The warm summer air is caressing your skin. You hug the beach with your toes as you make your way down towards a large bonfire. You notice that there are others seated around the fire. You instinctively feel at home here, a sense of safety and belonging. We are welcoming you, open with our honesty, authenticity, and vulnerability. We are all connected. We are all the same. We share the common desire to release ourselves tonight from the limitations of these old patterns and beliefs. And by having this powerful ritual witnessed by myself and all the others here tonight, we can all finally be free. Now it's time for you to take your seat with us around the bonfire. As you settle in on the cool sand, you notice a beautiful hand-woven ritual basket making its way around the circle. You notice that upon receiving the basket, each person pauses for a moment and then drops something inside. You see, it's in this ritual basket where we are going to completely surrender that pattern which is holding you back. The basket is only a few people away from you. You feel a sense of excitement as your turn gets closer. And know that as you share this pattern, those who are present and sharing too, we have our hearts open. We are fully present and we are sending you love and compassion. So take a nice deep breath. Your turn is next. You receive the basket and you feel a surge of energy. You can feel its power. And when you are ready, go ahead and offer your pattern into the basket. And then pass it over to me. As you sit around the bonfire, I want you to now get present to your body, how it feels. I want you to open your mind, open your body, and allow spirit in. Feel spirit circulating and flowing throughout your body, and notice if there's any place left that is holding back at all. I now have the basket, and I'm turning it over and I'm offering its contents to the power of the fire that knows how to transform these old patterns and limiting beliefs into the beauty of nature, into that transformative, creative, powerful, authentic energy that serves the highest good for all. At this time, I want you to clear everything. Just notice anything at all that's still hiding out in any tiny place, any cell in your body, and let it go now. Just send it into the fire. Anything that is holding you back from truly manifesting what you want. We are clearing this now. Release all that will hold you back. Just send it into the fire. And know that you are open to receive. You are magnetic. You are powerful. You're a physical channel for manifesting your true desires. Now release any final bit that's holding you back. The flames are expanding as they reach up to the sky, out into the ethers, and transform it all. We have let it go, and so it is. And now, as you arrive back here in present time, where you began this journey tonight, in a whole new way, you are transformed. You are an energetic being of light that no longer says no to that which you know you were meant to come here to be, to show the world the truth of who you are and what you came here to do. Sit with that for a moment. Accept who you are. And when you're ready, open your eyes and jot down anything that you'd like to remember from that experience. What was your pattern? What did you put into the basket? What did it feel like when you released it? Where in your body did you feel the release? Who was around the bonfire with you? Did you recognize anyone? Now that you've let go of this pattern, what's possible for you? And who would like to share first what that was like for them? I think you can just take yourself off mute. Who's there?
You want to see this talk?
Yeah. Who is this?
Hi, I'm Mike Safe here.
Hi, Mike.
Hi, Amy. So for me, the visualization I had physically writing my fear, which was the fear of failure in a big way, was actually placing this in that basket that, as you said, it was coming around, and the anticipation of putting it in the basket, I kind of got a little like hot and sweaty thinking about it, and then when you said the basket was then emptied onto the fire, I pictured it just burning away and just releasing, going away, and then so I wrote, that's kind of what I felt, and now I feel like I'm able to go do the uncomfortable, which sounds funny, but I've been a career salesperson, and still just doing these things uncomfortable, the fear of failure, of people just saying no, and I get a lot of no's anyway, so that was it for me.
Did you feel, where in your body did you feel the release?
I felt it here, like in my chest, kind of like spraying my head. It's all tingly. It's weird. Like I'm hot now.
Mm-hmm.
What does it feel like in that place now, other than the heat?
Well, I feel like I'm not gonna. I feel like I'm not afraid. Like the big step was to actually just join this group with Nicole and take this action to do it. I just need that push to get out of that comfort zone.
So if you put your hand right here, does that kind of anchor you to what happened? Like, would that remind you of the experience of letting go of that fear?
Yeah.
So when you get scared, that's what I encourage you to do, is to reconnect in your body, because now that's anchored inside of you. And when you touch your chest there, or whatever area that was, remind yourself of releasing the fear, and that you are now fearless or more courageous, or whatever word resonates for you. Was that helpful?
Yeah, I mean, that whole visualization thing is something I've never done before, so that in itself is interesting. And so I guess we'll see results, right?
Yeah.
That's what it's all going to be about. So, it's like anything, whether it's a physical therapy or mental therapy or whatever. It's just now you got to actually see what you do with it. Thank you.
Thanks for sharing. Who else? On this brave team, Passion.
Hey, Amy, it's Renee.
Hey.
Hi. So, I've done visualization before at school, and it's the second time that I've cried doing it. It's so weird. Um, this stuff is very powerful with me. I think it really gets in there. So, if you have any recommendations for more of this stuff, like, yeah, this was good. So, basically, my issue still is just like body image issues that kind of tie into fear um, that were put into my head by somebody else. So that's what I dropped in the bucket.
What specifically?
Basically, just not letting it was an ex-boyfriend, not letting his scrutinizing thoughts of how he saw my body rule. It's kind of what I see in my head now. That's what he says is what I'm saying to myself. So it's stopping that pattern. And
what happened when you put it in there?
Sorry?
What happened for you when you put it in there, when you put it in the basket?
I had a very similar experience. I could feel my heart beating faster. I felt a little hot. I had like a little butterflies in my stomach, and I started to cry as soon as the basket got closer to me. So, little anxiety kind of a thing going on there.
And then once you released it?
I feel a lot better. Definitely. I feel lighter. I feel relief. Happier.
Do you feel that? Where do you feel that in your body?
More like in the middle. Kind of like, so actually, like my stomach. Kind of like butterflies in my stomach kind of a feeling.
And what's possible now?
That I can love myself.
And what does that look like? Like one example.
Oh boy, that's a big question.
So put your hand on that place in your stomach where you felt the release.
Yeah.
And what's one thing that you could do to love yourself?
Just say nice things to myself. Do things that make me feel good. Be around positive people. Hiking.
So maybe what you can focus on now is making room in your life to add those things, whether it's in the form of affirmations or actually spending time with people. But this is something that is going to serve you.
Yeah, definitely.
It's your body talking to you. That's why we feel it in certain places. And if, you get a question for yourself and you go to that place, it will actually answer you. You ask it a question and you'll get the answer. I know it sounds really weird, but I swear to you it works. You just got to slow down enough to listen to it.
Yeah. I think the problem is I don't know that I'm doing it so much. Like those tapes in my head are always going around. So to actually realize it.
So then one thing that you can do, what everybody can do, is if you've got the place in your body identified where you felt the release of whatever it is you put into the basket, that once a day or twice a day or every time you pee or whatever, you start creating the habit of being in touch with that part of your body and connecting with that part of your body. So is it Mike? I'm sorry, who spoke first?
Yes.
Yeah. So Mike, if like every morning after you brush your teeth, you know, you do like this and you feel a surge of bravery, you know, you feel the fear leave your body and it's like, okay, I'm ready to make those calls. Or, you know, for you, Renee, to touch your solar plexus every single day, a couple of times a day, so that it becomes more habitual than the recordings, because the recordings are only happening because you're used to it. It's a habit. You got to break the habit, create a new one. That makes sense?
Yes. Yes. Thank you.
So something, Aimee, that I'm noticing, so for me this time it was when the release happened in my stomach as well. I got butterflies. And I think when I did EMDR therapy, it was the same thing. She was like, where do you feel it? I'm like, it's all in my stomach. And it's just a butterfly feeling. It's like, it's almost like a fun feeling. Like it's, you know, I was nauseous at first and then it felt better. But it like, I did that in therapy. I felt that way. And when I am on the verge of a huge breakthrough in this business, that's how my stomach feels every day. Like, so I think there's a big connection with that. If you guys can, whatever it feels like for you to be out of that comfort zone, and for me, it's butterflies, like make sure you're tapping into that. I think that's all like connected. Like just when I'm out of my comfort zone, I have butterflies. And when I have butterflies more often than not, I know that I'm on the verge of something huge in life or in this business because I'm uncomfortable. And then it's fun. Like when I get butterflies, I'm like, oh team, something's happening. And I get like I can just tell. And it does. It happens. That was a good connection for me this time.
One more person want to share? Did anyone struggle with this visualization?
I struggled a lot with it because I really at this point don't know what is holding me back.
Who's speaking?
Tiffany.
Hi, Tiffany. You're not sure what's holding you back?
Yeah, I guess maybe if I had more prep for the activity, maybe I could think more of, there's a lot of things, I guess, not just one thing. And then maybe I'm going to go back and do the video again and try to think more about what is the biggest thing.
Yeah, and you can journal about the several things that you think are holding you back and see if you can kind of create some kind of pattern, like see if you can find a thread that ties them all together. Like, you know, I was talking about feeling unworthy or not enough or lacking confidence. Like, do they all fit under an umbrella that you could just kind of put together and say, I'm releasing my lack of self-worth, and allow yourself to make that connection between all those things you want to release and that generalization of lacking self-worth, and have it all go away together. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So if you want help with that, feel free to reach out to me if you don't make any progress, but try that.
Okay, thanks.
Anyone else?
I have something to share. So at first this is kind of difficult for me, like it was for Tiffany.
Who's speaking?
Oh, sorry, it's Ngazi.
Okay, hi.
Hi. So I had trouble with this at first because I felt like there was a lot of things that could be holding me back. But the longer you let that pause sink in and you really think about it, they all kind of tie in together. So my struggle or my pattern is procrastination, or really what I do to sabotage myself and sabotage my success. And that comes from distracting myself from fear. So if I have a fear of taking action, I have a tendency to distract myself with something else. Even if I convince myself that it's a business building activity or that it's progress of some sort, it's not what I know is valuable activity. So I sabotage my success. I have a pattern of doing this. I've done this to myself long before. It's been a pattern throughout my life. And whenever I get close to success, my fear kind of holds me back, and I distract myself from taking the correct action. So that all bundled up together into procrastination, and that was what I decided to release into the basket.
And what was that experience like for you?
Kind of emotional, because once I put it in there, I was like, I really just want it to leave me. I don't want to have to think about it again. I don't want it to sabotage me, and I don't want to let that stuff weigh me down. So as soon as I put it in the basket and you had said you're going to put it into the fire, I got excited and tingly because I felt like it was released, that the fire took it, just released it into the air, and it was out of me and it was done with. So I felt like that was really powerful.
So what's the first action step you're going to take now that you're rid of procrastination?
So my first step is that I felt as if I didn't have that weight holding me back, that the things that I usually go to distract myself they're not going to be chains on me anymore. So, I'm thinking right now, like on a normal day, if I was like, I need to get my invites out, instead, I would go talk to my roommate who's been gone all day. What did you do today? Like, I'm not going to do my invites, but my door's locked. My roommate just came home. I'm like, nope, I have invites to do. I have stuff to do right now. I'm excited to do it. I'm excited to take action. I'm excited to be consistent about it. And usually that kind of scares me because I go into every day thinking like, oh, are those procrastinating habits going to come and hold me back, or am I going to let them? And I just don't feel like that's going to be an obstacle for me right now.
So what's going to anchor this for you so that tomorrow morning when you wake up, it's the same thing?
Well, like you were saying with everybody else, to just have that feeling. For me, it didn't come from like my chest or my abdomen. It kind of came from my back and released through my arms and my fingertips. So I think for me, it's something that I have to just feel throughout, just deep breaths, and then just releasing it in the morning before I get out of bed. I want to take a few minutes before I start my day to just feel that, because I'm sitting in my bed right now, so it's kind of like an anchoring situation. I can feel that in the morning when my alarm first goes off and I'm waking up, I can feel the same way I'm feeling right now in my bed, and kind of anchor that feeling that I had to that and just release it before I get out of bed in the morning.
Awesome.
Thank you so much for doing this, by the way. This kind of stuff is good for me, really like visualizing and things like that. So thank you.
My pleasure. Thanks for sharing. Cool.
Anybody else? Last minute? The Breens are awfully quiet this evening.
Did anybody let go of the fear of speaking in public or doing videos or posting on your page?
That's a good one.
Anything related to that? No.
Well, if you guys want to type something up in the team page and share, I'm sure Aimee would for sure comment on anything.
Feel free to send me a private message if you don't want to share, like publicly, if you have a question or anything. That's fine.
Cool. Thank you, Aimee. I know this stuff seems, I don't know. Yeah, cuckoo. Okay, it seems cuckoo. It seems, just out there, and I get it. But it's so important. It's so important to do this kind of stuff. And there's another, Aimee and Mark are gonna look into it, or maybe Aimee can just do another one for us. But she did another really cool visualization last year, or the beginning of the year or something, in a podcast form, but it was the same thing. We had to be quiet. So she's got a couple of these. We've done a couple of these with her, so we will certainly do more. She doesn't mind sharing. And, you know, it's almost like it's just taking your personal development to the next level, right? And it's like, I think this stuff is in between personal development and therapy. So we're going to give you some free therapy. And, you know, and it hurts, you know, that I did it. She did it with a small group of us last Tuesday here. And I didn't have any tears then, but tonight I did. So it just, whatever different space I was in, you know, I think it was more powerful for me the second time, even though I knew what was going to happen. And I had to release that same thing again that I released last Tuesday into the fire. So this isn't going to just magically go away. You've got to keep working on it and digging at it. I actually did EMDR therapy for this same thing for me. And for me, it's self-worth and being good enough. And, you know, I'm not a businesswoman. I'm just a mom. What do I know? You know, that goes through my head all day, every day. Yes, me, you guys, that goes through my head all day, every day. So please know that you're not alone. Please, you know, someone said something in the Sprint to Diamond. She's like, oh my gosh, it was so great to meet you at the meeting. It was like you were a celebrity. I'm like, oh gosh, so not. Like, just a mom over here. Like, you know, I don't know. But I thank you, Aimee. I thank you all for being open to this. If you weren't able to do it, you know, definitely try to do it again. Make sure your team does this. You know, or if you weren't ready tonight, you know, visit this. This will be on the YouTube Team Passion Training channel. So do it again in a month or two when you're kind of open to doing that. But all right, thank you guys, and go hit Success Club. You have 2 hours and 15 minutes on your mark and set. Go. Good night, guys.